Alright, good day, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're all having a very good day making crypto gains. Now, I'm here to make your day even better because I want to bring you even more crypto gains. Because, folks, I want to talk about Chainlink. I see something extremely interesting happening with Chainlink. I think Chainlink is gearing up for a big move in the near future here. I think the sleeping giant is starting to wake up. So in this video, I'm going to run through some tactical analysis, talk about what I see happening both short-term and long-term, mention some price targets and some key levels that you need to be aware of to understand when we're going to see Chainlink start to fly. And I'm also going to bring you guys a low cap gem that's been on my radar as of recently that I'm hoping to get into. A low cap gem that I first brought to our VIP Discord group. If you want to join our VIP Discord, link for that is down in the description. You get access through our Patreon. And folks, if you want to hear more about this, do me a favor, like, subscribe, comment, and share. Hit that bell icon to be notified of new uploads. So without further ado, let's delve into Chainlink here. Now, I know there's a lot of lines, and this may perhaps seem complicated to a lot of you, but don't you worry. I'm going to simplify what we're seeing here and help you understand what's going on. So let's first begin by kind of describing in a simple manner these different shapes and patterns and trend lines I've drawn here to kind of help you guys get an understanding of how I drew these trend lines and why what's happening in this picture is extremely significant. So first, I drew a bottom support line here, this green line here, based off these two macro bottom, these wicks. So if we just draw a line from this one to this one and extend it, that gives us a support line that I draw in green. And if we look at the top of price action here, we're constantly getting rejected off kind of the same range from $35 to about $37. So this whole, I drew like a red box here to represent the range of resistance that Chainlink is getting, is having a hard time getting above. So if we connect this red resistance zone with this green support trend line, we get an ascending triangle. But if we zoom in even more in the short term here, we can see that we're actually forming a bit of a wedge. So from this peak here to this peak here, we just draw a trend line. Well, if we draw this trend line here, this white trend line actually lines up with this green trend line here to form a wedge. But we also have a few other patterns here. We have a descending triangle. We can see that kind of this range here from about 22 bucks to about 20, 24 bucks was very price reactive here, here, and here. So we can draw some horizontal support lines here, which forms a descending triangle. So there's three major patterns here: wedge forming here, ascending triangle forming here, and descending triangle forming here. So those are the big patterns. Why that's significant is because whether this is a wedge or a descending triangle, we broke above. So not only did we break above, but we got above a key resistance level here at $32. The fact that we flipped this range here from about $31.30 to about $32 from resistance into support is a giant deal. And the fact that we're hovering above it and holding above it is a very big deal. If Chainlink can continue to hold above this range here from about $31.30 to about, I'd say $32, I think Chainlink may be ready to absolutely explode here in the near future if we can remain above this range. But perhaps more critically, the original breakout from about $29. If we start to fall below this zone here, about $29, then the possibility of this bullish breakout having been a fake out increases. The likelihood of this being a fake out increases if we start to break below this region. So we have several ranges of support, kind of this 31, 32 level, the original breakout, and then this green support line, this trend line here as well. I've highlighted what I believe are the two perhaps most important exponential moving averages and support / resistance averages for Chainlink here. That being the, I believe this is the 21 EMA on the 6 hour and the 200 EMA on the day. Oh no, sorry, 100 EMA on the daily. Why? Because I believe the 21 EMA on the 6 hour is good for understanding short-term price action, and the 100 EMA on the daily is good for understanding long-term price action, long-term support. Because we see here, we pumped, we dumped. Where did we find support? The 100 EMA on the daily. pump, dump. Where did we find support? The 100 EMA on the daily. And if we look at the 21 EMA on the 6 hour, we can see that it's pretty closely hugging price action, the bottom of these candles, holding it as support. So whenever this EMA is below price action, it acts as a bedrock, a floor of support where price doesn't want to go below it. But once we do break below it, it then acts as resistance where we have a hard time getting above it. As soon as we get above it, we shoot up. So this is a very good EMA for understanding short-term price movements. And as long as we remain above this thing in the short term, we're looking good. We're looking hot. As long as we remain above $32 and basically these 3 clusters of peaks here, I think we're going to keep testing these regions here. The more we test these regions, the more likely it is that we break out bullishly. Let's say we can break out bullishly, start to make new higher highs, and start to get above these key regions here. Where could we go? Well, one thing we can do is we can take the height of this descending triangle that we were in here, and I take the descending triangle instead of the wedge because I want to take an even more conservative scenario to be a little bit more realistic. So we take the height of our descending triangle here, we move it to the breakout point at around $29 here, and where could that take us? $43. We also have a Fibonacci extension level, the 0.786, lining up pretty closely with the height of our descending triangle. So we actually have a confluence of reasons that if we can start to break above these key regions here, I think we could see a $43 chain link. So another thing, just to show you guys how I drew this Fibonacci extension. Fibonacci extensions can be a little subjective in terms of how and where you place them, but I do find them very, very helpful. I do find them to be very price reactive and very relevant on different charts. So I do think they're very helpful. So I drew this Fibonacci extension from this macro low from December 23rd to this macro high, then the bottom of the retracement. So that's how you draw a Fibonacci extension. Bottom of the impulse, the top of the impulse to the bottom of the retracement, and again, that gives you some fib levels that are very likely to act as support and resistance. We also have the 3-2 lining up perfectly with these clusters of price action, and we have gotten above it. So we have the 3-2, this price action here, and the 21 EMA on the 6 hour acting as support. Lots of support below us, folks. Lots of support. If we start to break below this, I'd be worried that we're going to fall back down and that this could have been a fake out. But as long as we remain above the original breakout point and this green trend line, ultimately, I'm not too worried. Something we can look at to try and gauge and understand when the big move will be for Chainlink. When will we see that breakout? When will we see that upside to $43 and maybe even more? One thing we can constantly keep an eye out for is the Chainlink Bitcoin pairing and the Chainlink Ethereum pairing. The pairings with Bitcoin and Ethereum are very good to follow and track because you can often find hidden support and resistance and hidden bullish and bearish divergence that you wouldn't have anticipated if you were just looking at the US dollar value of Chainlink. So looking here at the Chainlink Bitcoin pairing, it's very obvious that we're forming this very macro descending triangle here. And if and when we can start to break above and hold above this red trend line, this red resistance line, and start to make some higher highs above some key levels here and here and get above the key fib level of the 618, I think that is when we see Chainlink truly start to fly. And I think $43 is kind of the short-term minimum price target. I think Chainlink is an absolute monster. With Bitcoin dominance having fallen, I think it's a matter of time before we see the good altcoins start to explode, and I really feel that Chainlink is gearing up for its next major impulse. We broke out bullishly, we flipped a major resistance level, we're accumulating above resistance, now flipped into support. I think Chainlink within the next few weeks, next month or two here, is going to absolutely explode. In timing that explosion, we need to follow the Chainlink Bitcoin pairing. Again, if we can start to get above this red resistance line and flip the 3-2 Fibonacci retracement from resistance into support, that's going to be one key factor that we need to keep an eye out for to understand when Chainlink is exploding. And just to understand how I drew this Fibonacci retracement, I drew it from the very macro bottom, the very macro top, so we're getting the entirety of price history. So if we can get above this red line and this fib level, I think Chainlink's flying. Same kind of situation here with Ethereum, although Chainlink against Ethereum is looking quite a bit more bearish because we were forming this ascending triangle and we broke down bearishly. So if we, I drew some support levels kind of based off price reactive zones. So I think we have a zone of support here from the 1-3 sorry, let me say this more clearly, from 0.014 to about 0.013. If we break below that, I think we're falling down to this 0.01 region here. Basically this fib level, the 786 here. So we don't want to see that happen if we want to see Chainlink start to break out bullishly. Although I do think the Bitcoin pairing is probably a little bit more relevant than the Ethereum pairing, because I would wager that it probably has more liquidity, more trading volume, so probably likely to be more significant. But if we start to see Link against Ethereum and Link against Bitcoin start to make moves to the upside here, test these resistance levels, break out of these resistance levels, that is the signal, folks, that Chainlink is ready for the breakout and ready for that bullish continuation as well. We need to understand the significance of what's happening with Bitcoin dominance. For those who don't know, Bitcoin dominance is the total value of Bitcoin in comparison to the total value of all cryptocurrency. Whenever it rises, altcoins typically suffer. Whenever it falls, altcoins typically benefit. And what's been happening with Bitcoin dominance is extremely significant, because we've fallen below the key ranges from back in August, July 2020. Why is that significant? Because July and August 2020 was the previous altcoin season that Chainlink led, by the way. So the fact that we are now below those ranges, and we're continuing to fall in Bitcoin dominance almost on a daily basis here, folks, I think it is a matter of time before Chainlink starts to wake up. Do not sleep on Chainlink. Now, I want to bring you guys a low cap gem. Well, I presume it's a low cap gem because it's not even out yet. That needs to be on your radar here. Occam.fi. This is a launch pad for the Cardano ecosystem. Now, I've been letting our VIP Discord members know, our Discord members know, that me and Messin, we run this channel. We've reviewed our portfolios recently, and we've actually changed a lot of our long-term positions, which is a big deal for us because we don't like to touch our long-term positions. You know, our long-term is our long-term. We don't like to move things around. But there's so much opportunity in the launchpad ecosystem, in my opinion. So many launchpads have been launching projects that do 20, 50, 100, 300x's, that to continuing, we just can't continue to ignore these launchpads, folks. There's just so much opportunity. Again, lots of risk, lots of opportunity. And so this project has recently popped up on my radar. This is a brand new launchpad, again, not even out yet, for the Cardano ecosystem. So right here, we can see that in 2 days, 7 hours, and 24 minutes, they will release their project, and they will release their details on how to participate, how to sign up. So if you want to stay up to date with the latest and greatest cryptocurrency news and technical analysis, make sure you like, subscribe, comment, share, and hit that bell icon to be notified of new uploads, because we're going to be talking about this thing continually in our Discord group as well. Make sure you join our Discord and give their Twitter a follow so you can stay up to date with their developments, their announcements. If they release whitelist details, how to get into this thing, they're probably going to be doing on their Twitter. So give their Twitter a follow. And while you're at it, give our Twitter a follow. Link for everything is down in the description below. So we've been recently moving into a bunch of launch pads. We've gotten into CardStarter recently, which is kind of a competitor to this project, actually. CardStarter is another launch pad on the Cardano ecosystem. They're partnering with BitBoy Crypto. Apparently, I haven't seen confirmation from his camp, although people are telling me that has been confirmed, which is good. That's bullish, I suppose. And they will also be launching a Oracle project. CardStarter will be Charlie 3. So we've gotten into that project. We've gotten into paid network. I really wish I had gotten into paid network after the hack. It's just, I was following, folks. I've been following paid network for so long. I was following it after the hack, and I was like, it got hacked. I don't know if I want to get in, but I should have, because it was around $2. It's around like $5, $6 now. So I got in recently. That's okay. Very bullish on that project. I've started to learn more and more about it, and the more I learned, I was like, I can't afford to not be in that project. So I did get into paid. None of this is financial advice. I'm just letting you guys know what I'm up to. Got into Alpool. Alpool's launching stuff, another launch pad, and what else? There's a Polkastarter. Obviously, we've been in Polkastarter for a while. We've been talking about it for a while. And there's one more. Polkastarter, Cards, Alpool. Oh, yes, Superfarm is partnering with Pay Network to launch a co-IDO thing. So that's weird and crazy. Details for that is we post about that in our Discord. Link for that down in the description. And there's some previous videos where we're talking about it. I'll leave a link in the top right or somewhere. So make sure you check all that stuff out. Folks, I'm bringing you absolute gold in this episode. Chainlink's on the verge of exploding. It's a sleeping giant starting to wake up. I explained to you the key signs that we need to look out for, and if we start to see those key signs start to manifest, we're definitely going to be letting you know about it, so make sure you stay tuned to this channel. And this is a beautiful low cap gem that will give you more beautiful low cap gems. So what's there not to like about this thing? Folks, like, subscribe, comment, share, and hit that bell icon to be notified of new uploads. Until next time, thank you so much for watching. Take care.